All right, go ahead and label the topic for these notes, combining like terms. It is Unit 2, Notes 4. All right, so we've already learned how to create expressions, how to evaluate expressions when you substitute numbers in for the variables or for the letters, right? Now you're going to learn what to do when you have this big long expression. You're going to learn how to make it smaller before you can evaluate anything. So let's go over the types of or the parts of the expression. So what we call the terms in there. So any number that's connected to the letter or connected to the variable, we call those variable terms. So in our example here, anything that's connected to a letter will be called a variable term, or any letter by itself also. So we have 9x, we have 16x, and notice how I circled the plus sign that was in front of the 16. When you are talking about the terms here, if you want to know if it's positive or negative, you look at the symbol that's in front of the number. Now I know people keep asking, is this a minus sign or is this a negative sign? They are technically the same thing. Okay. If you have a right, if you have a -1 that you're adding to something, that is the same thing as just subtracting 1, which is why I say positive, or which is why I say subtracting and negatives are the same thing. And then our last variable term is this -x over here. Now, anytime you see a positive or negative, doesn't matter, letter by itself, there is an invisible 1 that's in front of it. So if you're wondering how many negative x's is that, that's just -1x. All right, now let's go ahead and circle the constant terms. So the constant terms are just the numbers by itself, and they are called constants because they don't change, right? The other ones, the variables can change because x can be 2, x can be 4, you don't know what x is. But the constants, those numbers don't change. So here we have -2, again, circling the minus sign that's in front of it. We have a +8, and we have a +10. So variable terms and constant terms. All right, now we're going to branch off of the variable terms, and we call these the coefficients. These are the numbers that are connected to our letters. So here is just going to be the numbers without the letter x written. So we have 9, 16, and remember what's next to that negative sign right there, or the invisible thing that we can't see, is actually -1. All right, so we are going to try to just determine the variable terms, constant terms, and coefficients in these examples below us. I'm going to start by doing number 2, and then I'll have you do a few on your own. So number 2, variable term is anything that is with a letter, the whole thing. So I have x here, and I have -3x here. All right, constant terms are just my numbers by themselves. So I have -12 and +22. And then remember that the coefficients go with the variable terms, right? These kind of go together. Your coefficients are the number by itself that is or so just the number that's connected to the letter. So x, remember the invisible 1 would be there, and then -3x, so just -3. Go ahead and try numbers 1, let's go 4 and 5 on your own. So pause the video if you haven't already. Try those 3 on your own real quick. All right, you should have paused the video. So variable terms for the first one, you should have gotten 8a, 2a. Constant terms would be -3. Coefficients would be 8 and 2. Number 4, you should have gotten 15m, n, and negative 7m. Constants was just 9. Coefficients was 15, 1, and negative 7. Number 5, you should have gotten x, y. I know that was a tricky one there. And negative 2xy. Okay, my constants were negative 12 and positive 9. And then my coefficients, remember, are the numbers that you see that are attached to the letters. So here we have an invisible 1 in front of that xy. And then here we have negative 2. All right, if you got a few of those wrong, make sure you pause the video here and ask for clarification so that you don't keep getting those wrong. Go ahead and flip on over to the back page. All right, so now that we've identified all the parts of the expression, we can go ahead and combine like terms. What I mean by that is you can combine common terms, so common variables, so x's can go with other x's. You can combine y's with other y's, and then also all of the constants can go together, like 6, negative 2, 5, 4. All of the numbers that are just numbers, those can also combine. So we're going to take a look at the example problem here, and they want us to simplify the expression. So we're just going to simplify this by combining like terms. I want you, if you have different colors, great. If not, do some underlining and some circling, just so that you can see what's similar and what's different. So I'm going to go ahead and circle all of the variable terms that are like terms or common terms. So my 9x is a variable term. That is also the same as my 16x. This is because they both are x's. And my minus 1x. Okay, so of those variable terms, when you combine adding and subtracting with x's or whatever variable it is, whatever letter it is, that x does not change. You still will have some amount of x's. What we need to do to combine these, we need to add 9x's with 16x's and then subtract off that 1x. So really, and I'm going to write it over here in pink, I've got 9. I'm just using the coefficients of those x terms, plus 16 minus 1. I just took that right from here. So 9 plus 16 minus 1. Now I'm going to go ahead and underline my constant terms. So they're just the numbers by itself. Negative 2 plus 8 plus 10. Those are all my constant terms that I can combine. So negative 2 plus 8, that is going to get me 6, plus 10, that will get me 16, positive 16, so we're going to add on 16. I realized I didn't actually solve the pink yet. So when we do over here for my x's, right here, 9 plus 16, we're going to get 25 minus 1 equals 24. So how many x's do we have? We have 24 x's after we combined those. All right, we're going to start off with an easier one. Go ahead and try number 11 here. Pause the video. All right, you should have paused the video and tried number 11. Let's go through it. So go ahead and circle your like terms. So I'm going to start with the variable terms of p. So I have a positive 4p plus 8p. So I add together those coefficients. 4 plus 8 is 12. Don't forget the p. Okay, that part doesn't change. And then 10 is my only constant, nothing else to combine it with. So plus 10. That is your answer. So that is a simplified expression. All right, go ahead and try let's do numbers 13 and 18. Don't forget that there's an invisible 1 in front of a letter if there isn't a number there. Pause the video and try 13 and 18. Okay, should have paused. Number 13, I'm gonna circle my like terms. My variable terms, so here's my A, here's another A term. Remember that 1 is right there. So we have 1 and then minus, I got that minus sign from right there. 1 minus 4, that would be -3. Don't forget, it's still A. So we had 1A and then we took away 4 A's. So we have -3 A's. And then my constants, -7 plus 2. So -7 plus 2 would get me -5. So I'm going to minus 5 at the end of my expression. Number 18, I've got -1p minus 2p. So -1 minus 2, that would be -3. Don't forget the p. My constants at -3 plus 1. -3 plus 1 equals -2, so minus 2 here. So see how it was a -2, so I bring that negative sign with me as a minus sign. Remember, they're the same thing pretty much. If it was a +2, I would write +2 at the end of my expression. All right, I also want you to give it a shot, number 25 and 26. Pause the video here and try those. All right, you should have tried 25 and 26 on your own. I'm just gonna skip the steps and just give you, actually, no, I won't skip these steps since we have different letters yet, sorry. So number 25, circle your like terms. So I have 10D. I have this other expression, or this other term right here, 5F. Even though it's a letter term, it is not the same letter as before, so it does not combine with the 10D. But with my 10D, I also have minus 14D. And then also by itself would be this 5, and that is another constant right here, -12. So let's do my orange circles. So I have 10D minus 14D. So don't forget that letter won't change. 10 minus 14 is -4. Moving on to my green circle, there were no other F's to combine this with, so my plus 5F just gets brought straight down. And then my constant terms, I had a +5 minus 12, we get -7, so I have -7 at the end here. That is my final answer. All right, go ahead. So you may have already tried it. If you didn't, try number 26, pause here and try it now. So you should have gotten 30x plus 60y plus 13. If you did not get that correct, please go ahead and try, ask for clarification first, and then try number 23 to give you more practice. All right, if you needed that extra practice, pause the video here and then play it again when you're ready to see the answer for 23. You should have gotten 5a minus 3b plus 5c. Again, if you're getting these wrong, raise your hand, stop the video, and ask for help.